Here's what happens when you cheat. In this video, I'd like to talk about what happens when you cheat on the carnivore diet. Now, I'm going to explain by talking about my own experience. I'm not a medical professional and I don't know your individual situation, so I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen if you have a cheat day. But I can tell you my experience. I can tell you what's happened to me. And it's not necessarily bad news. Now, just before we get into it, a word from our sponsor, the subscribe button. I've got a goal to get to 25,000 subscribers by the end of March, and I'm hoping that you can help me get there. If you're not subscribed already, I would really appreciate it if you could take the split second now to smash the subscribe button and help me to reach that 25,000 goal by the end of March. Thank you very much, and back to the video. So one thing I've noticed on the comments on my channel quite a bit is people talking about, I'm going to go full carnivore soon, I ended up having a cheat day today, or I fell off the rails today, hopefully I can get back on tomorrow. And so what I wanted to do in this video is I wanted to give you a little bit of reassurance, maybe give you a little bit of a pep talk about why you shouldn't let a cheat day derail you. And to do this, I wanted to talk about my experience having cheat days. Now, for the 7 months that I've been on the carnivore diet, I haven't had a cheat day. I haven't had any alcohol, I haven't had any processed food, and I haven't had anything that contains sugar. That said, I have done diets like carnivore in the past. Now, of course, in the recent past, I've been on the keto diet before I actually went onto carnivore. But if we rewind all the way back to 2000, at that stage I was doing the Atkins diet, which is low carb. And at that time, back in 2000, that's when I was in my mid-20s. And back in my 20s, I wasn't really thinking about anything but weight loss for appearance's sake. I wasn't thinking about changing the way I ate to be more healthy. It was purely about losing weight. And so when I was doing the Atkins diet, I wasn't focused on low carb and making sure that I had a certain amount of vegetables in any one day. I was actively just eating the foods that would help me to lose weight. And at the time, those foods to me were beef, chicken, cheese, and eggs. And I did eat vegetables, but I didn't eat vegetables to any reasonable degree. Anything that you would expect on a low carb diet. So all things considered, my diet was pretty close to carnivore at that time. And my experience of doing an almost carnivore Atkins diet back in the day was that if I had a cheat day, it wasn't going to negatively impact my weight. Now, obviously, when we think about things like eating sugar, eating snacks, drinking alcohol, these are not good foods for your health. Is one cheat day of these things once in a while going to affect your health negatively? Well, again, I'm not a medical professional, so I can't answer that question. However, what I can say is if one of your main goals is to keep the weight off, once you're fat adapted, in my experience, you won't put on weight if you have one cheat day. In fact, my experience is that you may actually lose a little bit more weight. And that is what happened to me. So I would go out with friends sometimes, or I'd go around to a friend's house. We'd spend the night drinking. We would eat lots of junk food, lots of chocolates, lots of candies, that kind of thing. Maybe have a big meal as well. But predominantly it was chocolate, candy, junk food, and alcohol. And when I would wake up the next day, the first thing I would think, well, after how sore my head is, the first thing I would think is, I feel so bad. I feel so guilty because I've had a cheat day. But I was surprised when I would weigh myself. I would actually be slightly lower or quite a bit lower than I had been the last time I weighed myself. I'm talking potentially a kilo less. Now, I've got some warnings here. This is not something I'm recommending doing. I'm not recommending that you suddenly start incorporating cheat days into your schedule. What I am saying though is if you do have a cheat day because you've gone to a wedding, you've gone to a friend's party, you're catching up with someone you haven't seen for a long time, I don't think you should be beating yourself up about it, because the likelihood is it's not going to have an impact on your long-term results. What it's going to be is it's going to be a day or two of feeling not so great as like this bump in the road on your journey. And potentially it's not going to impact your weight negatively. The other warning I want to give you though is, in my experience, this can be a slippery slope. You have one day where you have a cheat, you find out the next day or the day after you've actually lost a bit more weight than you expected, and so the next weekend you feel like, well, I can let my hair down again. So you let your hair down on Saturday night, and you wake up on Sunday morning and you feel kind of hungover or bloated or something, but you find out that your weight hasn't increased. And so on Sunday, your friend's around or you get invited out somewhere and you feel like, you know what, I can let my hair down again. And this cycle builds momentum, and before you know it, you're no longer on the carnivore diet. So honestly, knowing what I know and knowing how my body has responded in the past, if I ended up having a cheat day for a particular reason that's unavoidable, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But I'm also going to be super cautious, because I know it's easy to fall back into those patterns of behavior you had before. And I think our bodies are pretty good at remembering things. And our bodies are pretty good at remembering things that we were addicted to. They're very good at forgetting, but then once the things are reintroduced, once you put sugar back into your body lights up. Guys, thanks for watching this video. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe. And if you enjoy my videos and you'd like to support the channel, consider becoming a channel member. Click the join button under this video or the first link in the description. Thanks again, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video.